actually think that Maryland is so due for a statewide inspector general.
Well, I think we have mechanisms in place where that's actually already taking place.
As a national conversation rages on about waste, fraud, and abuse of taxpaying dollars at the local and state level.
Welcome back.
Inspector General Isabel Cummings' recent comments are inspiring debate at the Maryland State House.
The state, which is, I hear, is the richest in the United States of America, doesn't have an inspector general to watch out for the public.
What are some of the dangers that poses?
We need to know that we have an independent watchdog doing the job of watching our taxpayer money.
Fox 45 News pressed Governor Moore on Friday about whether there should be a statewide inspector general's office established to ensure waste, fraud, and abuse is not happening.
Well, I think we have mechanisms in place where that's actually already taking place. Where we have mechanisms all throughout state government that's actually showing what are the performance indicators, what are the measurements to show that taxpayer dollars are being wisely used, and if there's any infraction or specifically illegal infraction, that there's accountability to be had for that.
Governor Moore championed what he called one of the first hires he made in his administration, a chief performance officer. Our team found the initial job ad posted for the position in May 2023, months after Moore took office. The posting said the chief performance officer is responsible for designing the state of Maryland's approach to performance and service delivery, making no reference to audits or holding violators accountable for waste, fraud, or abuse.
It's for procurement, but also they have an expansive mission, and now also to include financial audits.
Mr. President, should the state of Maryland have a statewide inspector general's office similar to states like Virginia or Pennsylvania?
Yeah, we already have it. I mean, I think the Department of Legislative Audits is fundamentally one of the most professional and effective entities that has existed for the last 30 years. They are professional auditors that are that look for waste, fraud, and abuse, both on a financial basis and also on a performance basis.
Given issues that we've seen in Minnesota, do you feel that those situations could be happening here in Maryland?
I don't believe they are. I believe our audits are covering and looking where there are gaps.
Meanwhile, legislative audit after audit shows shortfalls in Maryland government, including more than $700 million the Department of Labor lost, more than $32 million the Department of General Services lost in a contract because a system did not function as intended, and the State Retirement Agency failing to verify approximately $260 million in private fund management fees. The solution of these failed audits, possible criminal referrals, and transparency on accountability measures remain consistently unclear. We asked both Democrat and Republican lawmakers if a statewide inspector general should be established.
Absolutely. Look, when it comes to the taxpayers and doing the job that people send, government officials, appointed officials, elected officials, it absolutely should be a nonpartisan issue.
I think that's an interesting idea. Obviously, having more accountability and transparency in government is the ideal situation, so I can certainly entertain that. I think it's a fine idea.
If it is the floor, I'll certainly vote for it, but I don't want to get ahead of where the party is or where we are to give it a real earnest opinion.
The governor says that his chief performance officer is the one who's really ensuring the financial safety and security of the tax-paying dollar. Do you agree with that?
Well, is that the fox watching the hen house? Of course we need independent inspector generals looking at these problems, and it does seem to be a pattern.
And it really should just be the watchdog for the taxpayer to ensure that government is functioning efficiently and effectively.
We asked Cummings what power distinguishes an inspector general from news journalists and other government auditors in holding government entities accountable for waste, fraud, and abuse.
Subpoena power.
We will continue to follow state legislators' interest in establishing a statewide inspector general's office closely and bring you updates throughout the session. I'm Gary Collins in Annapolis with Spotlight on Maryland.
The Spotlight on Maryland reached out to surrounding states with statewide inspector general's offices. That includes Pennsylvania, New York, and Virginia. Virginia leaders say, quote, "We applaud any state municipality or agency that takes seriously the critical task of detecting fraud, waste, and abuse." I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.